What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Film study for rookies today, man. Raiders Nation, sit with me on this because we've got a video today. It's AOC and Gardner Minshew and OTAs. We've got to talk about this because at the end of last season, we saw AOC start to get better, but a lot of you guys, I won't say a lot, I say about half the fan base wanted somebody more mobile because they felt that's where the league was going. They really wanted Michael P. out of Washington, which we're going to get to in a second, but he went to Atlanta. And this is interesting how this is going to play out. Sit with me on this. So what did the Raiders do? They grabbed Gardner Minshew. And if you think about it, Gardner Minshew and Aidan O'Connell aren't that different. You know, I think Aidan's a bit stronger, maybe. I think Gardner's a bit more mobile. If you combine those two, that's a pretty good quarterback, right? That's a pretty good quarterback. But let's roll the clip real quick so you guys can see. We got AOC. You know, he looks good, but obviously there's nobody in front of him. He doesn't have to force the ball to Davante Adams. And that's the thing, right? When it comes to AOC, the knock was, one, he holds on to the ball for too long. While that was true some games, other games, like I said in the film last year, it's like Davante was his first read. And most first reads, you know, you're going to look away after a second and a half maybe. It seemed like with Davante, he was like, okay, Davante's got that one-on-one. He's going to get open. He's going to get open. He's going to get open. He never got open. The check down was picked up. Everything else was picked up. He's like, well, crap. You know? And so that was a big knock on him last year, right? Holding onto the ball for too long and not being mobile. This year might be different. It might be different. And there's a couple more things we got to talk about too. Because I like AOC. But am I opposed to Mr. Gardner Minshew starting for the Raiders? I'm not opposed because it actually goes back to Big Mike P from Washington, now in Atlanta. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the ironic part about Atlanta taking Mike was that they just gave Kirk Cousins that fat deal. And I mean that fat deal, right? And so the whole thought process there is what? In these situations, okay, Kirk did this, it worked well. Okay, in these situations, Kirk did this, it didn't work well. Okay, I know not to do that. So he's going to learn from Kirk's mistakes, but also his strengths. To me, the Raiders might try that with AOC and Gardner. Now, I like AOC more than I like Minshew, but hey, if you can let AOC sit behind Gardner Minshew for a couple years, I don't hate it, and here's why. If we look at the depth chart, you get Davante Adams, who's getting up there in age. That's my only one kind of con to this. Jacoby Myers, he's kind of rocking the bridge. Trey Tucker, he's young. Michael Gallup, kind of in the same boat as Jacoby Myers, if I remember right. Jalen Guyton, I think he's a little bit younger. Not quite Tucker, but not as old as Gallup. And then you've got Brock Bowers and Big Mike, Michael Mayer. Tight end, Notre Dame, second year. So the team is definitely on that medium to younger age. But if you look, the younger guys, Trey Tucker, Guyton, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, that's a core team right there. You know, if you look at the Chiefs, which is what a lot of people kept saying in the comments, we need somebody like Mahomes. Well, Mahomes is dominant because he has Kelsey, right? That's why he's dominant. Even when he had Tyreek Hill worked because Kelsey would bring the defenders underneath, and then bang, you get Tyreek Hill one-on-one with the safety. Tyreek Hill with the safety, come on, man. So that's why that worked. Now, that could work well with Davante Adams too this year. You have somebody like Brock Bowers running underneath. That's going to force the linebackers to come up, maybe force a safety to cheat. You know, they drop down the cover 3, maybe the robber, then bang, over the top with Davante Adams. Or even corner out Davante Adams, bam. You know, he brings the safety that way. You got, you know, Brock Bowers on a crosser route, and then bang, you got the post route over the top with Tucker. Whew. That's going to be tough for a lot of defenses this year to pick up. Davante Adams, Tucker, Bowers, and then you can't forget Big Mike too. So this is kind of my thought process for the Raiders now and moving forward. They have pieces, right? They have pieces. You got Zamir White. You got Madison out of Minnesota. So now the question is the system going to fit these pieces, right? And then next year, okay, how do you continue to build this team? You've got a nice base set with AOC and Minshew. You don't want to get too greedy and use a top pick on a quarterback because sometimes the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Zamir White, Madison, not bad right there. You've got a nice receiving core, right? You got Tucker, Myers, Devontae Adams. Now, I did bring up Adams. He's definitely getting older, so that's the only one knock on that. But both your tight ends, one's 2 years in, the other one's a rookie. So the Raiders, they've got a nice foundation. Now, you've got to figure out the quarterback thing. Let AOC sit, let him not sit. You got to figure that out. And then from there, just rebuild and have a good draft year after year. I feel like the Raiders the last couple of years have had a pretty good draft. I really believe that. That defensive line is crazy. Crosby, Wilkins, Tyree Wilson. I mean, like I said before, the Raiders, man, they've got a good foundation, but they've got to continue to just keep building up year after year. Don't fall back. Don't take one step forward, 2 steps back. Don't do that. They've got a good foundation. That's going to wrap it up. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. This was more of me ranting that the Raiders have a good foundation, and I don't want them to mess it up. The next couple of videos, we'll go more into details, look at their throwing motions, all that fun stuff. Stay tuned, though. Let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. I'll catch you guys on the next one.